On Saturday mornings, the cul-de-sac on Mapleview Lane was usually quiet enough to hear sprinklers ticking and birds arguing in the trees. Today, though, there was the steady rhythm of shoes hitting pavement as Marco de la Cruz jogged down the street, sweat darkening his gray athletic shirt, earbuds bouncing lightly against his collar. He wasn't a fast runner, but he was a stubborn one. 3 months ago, his doctor had told him his stress levels were through the roof. "You've got 2 choices," she'd said. "Start running or let your heart do it for you." So every morning, after his night shifts at the emergency vet clinic, he laced up his shoes and ran 3 miles around the neighborhood before breakfast with his wife. Beside him now, slightly behind, was Leah, his younger sister, arms pumping, ponytail swaying. She had flown in from California for a weekend visit and insisted on joining him, even though she complained loudly about humidity. "Kuya, why is it so hot?" she puffed. "This is not running weather. This is take a nap with aircon weather." "You're the one who said, 'I want to see your new healthy lifestyle,' remember?" he teased, glancing back with a grin. "You're only at mile 2. Don't die yet." "Tell my parents I loved them," she groaned, but she was smiling. They turned the corner onto the long tree-lined stretch that led back to their house. A few neighbors were out, Mrs. Jensen watering her hydrangeas, a group of teenage girls clustered on a front lawn, scrolling on their phones. A plastic water bottle someone had dropped rolled lazily near the curb. The air smelled like cut grass and warm asphalt. Marco was just starting to think about eggs and garlic rice when the distant wail of a siren cut through their steady breathing. Blue and red lights flashed at the far end of the block, growing larger. He frowned. "That's weird," he said. "Maybe there was an accident on the main road." The squad car didn't turn onto the main road. It turned onto their street. The cruiser swerved to a stop a few yards ahead of them, angled across the lane. Another patrol car followed, stopping behind. Doors flew open. 2 white officers stepped out, one holding the leash of a German shepherd that climbed out of the back, ears pricked. Leah stumbled to a stop, breath snagging. "What is this?" she whispered. Marco slowed, hands instinctively lifting, palms out. His heart rate, already high from running, spiked for a different reason. "Hey!" the first officer shouted, pointing straight at him. "You, hands up, don't move!" Marco froze. The dog barked once, a sharp sound that made nearby birds scatter. The teenage girls across the street lowered their phones, then lifted them again to record. I'm not moving," he said. He could hear his own accent stronger now, vowels rounding as his adrenaline surged. "What's happening, officer?" "We've had reports of a suspicious male running through yards. Asian male, dark hair, dark shirt, shorts. You matched the description." "We're just jogging," Leah cried. "We live on this street. Why are you shouting at us?" The second officer stepped forward, hand hovering near his holster. "Ma'am, step back. Hands where we can see them, both of you." Leah raised her hands slowly, eyes wide. "This is insane," she muttered. Marco's chest tightened. "You are making a mistake," he said, trying to keep his voice even. "We didn't run through any yards. We stayed on the sidewalk the whole time." The first officer, whose nameplate read Henderson, snorted. "Yeah, funny how everyone's innocent till we catch them," he said. "Turn around. Hands on your head." Neighbors were emerging now, drawn by the flashing lights and raised voices. Mrs. Jensen lowered her hose, water spilling onto the grass unnoticed. The teenage girls had stopped pretending they weren't filming. "Officer, please," Leah said, voice shaking. "We didn't do anything. You're scaring us." Henderson rolled his eyes. "Then don't match the description next time," he snapped. "You know how many calls we've had about a guy like you casing houses? I'm not taking chances." He gestured at Marco with his chin. "You, walk toward me slowly. If you make any sudden moves, my partner's gonna let the dog introduce himself. Understand?" The German shepherd growled softly, muscles coiled. Marco swallowed hard. He knew enough about police dogs to understand that this wasn't an empty threat. "I understand," he said quietly. He took a small step forward, hands still raised. "Please do not point your gun at me. I'm unarmed. "Keep your mouth shut and your hands up, you'll be fine," Henderson said. He glanced at Leah with a smirk. "You two related? Running some kind of family operation out here?" Something snapped in Leah. "We're doing cardio, not a burglary. Why are you assuming we're criminals just because we're brown?" "Ma'am, that's enough," the second officer said sharply. "You keep talking like that and you will be detained for interfering." Marco shot her a look. "Leah, please," he murmured. "Just breathe." He forced himself to focus. He'd been in enough crisis situations at the clinic to know that panic made people stupid. Stupid in front of armed officers could get you killed. "You said reports," he said carefully. "From who?" 911 call said there was an Asian guy in dark clothes running between houses looking into backyards. We get here, what do we see? Asian guy in dark clothes running. You want me to pretend that's a coincidence? Lots of people fit that description. You didn't stop any of the white joggers we passed." Henderson's face tightened. "You calling me racists?" he demanded, stepping closer. "Is that what we're doing now? You break the law and then cry discrimination when we try to do our jobs." "You haven't said what law we broke," Marco replied. His throat felt dry. "You haven't even asked my name." "I don't need your name to know you're the one we got called about. You're here, aren't you?" The dog strained slightly at the leash, tail high. The officer holding him gave a short tug. "Easy, Rex," he murmured. Marco heard the name like a jolt of electricity. "Rex?" he repeated before he could stop himself. The dog's ears flicked. His head snapped toward Marco, eyes suddenly sharp in a different way. He sniffed the air, nostrils flaring. "Don't talk to my dog," Henderson said. "Keep your hands where I can see them." But Rex wasn't looking at Henderson anymore. His gaze was locked on Marco's face, intense, searching. He whined once, low in his throat, then again, higher.
Before we continue the story, let me know what country you're watching from. Hit the like button if you love this story, and please subscribe if you are new to my channel. Let's continue.
Marco's heart stumbled. "Rex," he said softly, ignoring Henderson's glare. "Sit." Rex sat. The second officer jerked back in surprise, nearly losing his grip on the leash. "What the— Rex, heel!" he commanded automatically. Rex ignored him. His tail started wagging in a slow, uncertain arc. He sniffed the air again, then gave a short, excited bark and lunged forward. Not with aggression, but with the frantic enthusiasm of a dog recognizing an old friend. "Whoa!" the officer yelped, tightening his hold. "Rex, what are you doing? Back!" The German Shepherd didn't even glance at him. He closed the distance to Marco in a series of eager pulls, nose bumping against Marco's outstretched hands. He whined again, higher now, then did something that made every onlooker gasp. He tried to climb into Marco's chest, front paws lifting off the ground, pressing against Marco's thighs as he attempted to lick his hands, his face, any part he could reach. "Good boy," Marco whispered, instinctively dropping his hands to scratch behind Rex's ears, fingers finding a familiar spot. "I missed you, buddy." Henderson stared, stunned. "What? What is going on?" he demanded. "Rex, off! Off!" Rex ignored him completely, tail wagging so hard his whole back end wiggled. He pressed closer to Marco's legs, shoving his head under Marco's hand the way he had when he was a younger dog, desperate for affection. The officer on the leash finally managed to pull him back a few inches, face red with effort. I don't get it. He never does this. He's always in drive when we deploy. I've never seen him act like this with a stranger." "He's not a stranger," Marco said softly. He looked up at Henderson, anger edged now with something sadder. "I helped train him when he was a rookie." Leah blinked. "Wait, what?" Marco exhaled slowly. "I used to be a canine handler," he said, loud enough for the officers and the nearest neighbors to hear. "Different department, same county. Before I went to vet school. We worked with this unit when Rex was brought on. He was nervous around loud noises. I spent weeks with him in the training yard. He used to sleep on my boots." Rex whined again, as if confirming the story, trying to shove his nose into Marco's palm. Henderson's mouth opened and closed. You're a cop? He asked, the word suddenly more complicated than it had been a moment before. Former, Marco said. I resigned after my partner was injured on a call. Went back to school. Now I patch up dogs like Rex when they get hurt. He glanced at the shepherd, eyes softening. Last year I assisted with his surgery when he tore his cruciate ligament. He was scared coming out of anesthesia. I stayed with him for hours. The second officer's eyes went wide. You're the vet? He blurted. From the clinic on Elm? The one Captain Lewis keeps talking about? Marco nodded once. Dr. Dela Cruz. Marco is fine. Henderson looked like someone had yanked the floor out from under him. His gaze flitted from Marco to Rex, who was now whining in frustration at being held back. I didn't know, he stuttered. You didn't say. You didn't ask, Marco said, the words landing heavier than any shout. You got a vague description and decided I was guilty. You threatened to sick a dog on someone who helped teach him not to be afraid. The teenage girls lowered their phones now, faces a mix of righteous satisfaction and discomfort. Mrs. Jensen shook her head slowly, lips pressed thin. Leah's hands had fallen halfway, but she lifted them again, not trusting the adrenaline to be fully gone. I thought you matched a call, Henderson muttered. We've had a lot of break-ins lately. I was just doing your job, Marco finished. I know. I used to say the same thing. He took a breath, forcing his voice to stay calm. The thing is, your job includes listening, asking questions, not grabbing the first brown person who fits half a description and treating them like a threat. If Rex hadn't recognized me, what happened next? Henderson didn't answer. He didn't need to. The image of Rex lunging, teeth bared on command, hung between them. From the back of the crowd, someone cleared their throat. A small path opened as a woman in a dark polo with the department crest pushed her bicycle forward, helmet dangling from one hand. Sergeant Maya Carter, canine supervisor, had been on her way back from a training run with another unit when she heard the radio call escalate. What is going on with my dog? She demanded. Then she saw Rex straining towards Marco, tail a blur. Why is he trying to make out with a jogger in the street? The police officer looked like he wanted to disappear. Sarge, he saw this guy and went crazy. In a good way. I've never seen him so happy. Carter's eyes landed on Marco, narrowed, then widened. Wait, she said. Doc? Marco gave him a small, sheepish smile. Hey, Sarge. Oh, you have got to be kidding me, she muttered. She turned a glare on Henderson that could have melted asphalt. You pulled a stop on Dr. Dela Cruz? He matched the description, Henderson said weakly.
Carter looked like she wanted to throw her helmet at him. He's the one who rebuilt Rex's leg, she said. The reason we even have a working dog right now is because of him. And you're out here threatening to deploy on him? Rex whined, tugging again. Carter snapped her fingers. Rex, plots, she commanded. Rex glanced between her and Marco, conflicted, then reluctantly sank into a down, paws stretched out, tail still tapping the pavement. Carter sighed. Good boy, she told him, then looked at Henderson again. You know what else he did? He wrote half the medical protocols you're supposed to follow when Rex is injured. You obviously didn't read those either, so I guess I'm not surprised. A few people smothered laughs. Henderson flushed crimson. Sergeant, Stop, she said sharply. You're lucky the only thing that happened here is embarrassment. You had your hand on your weapon around someone unarmed, compliant, and just trying to run in his own neighborhood. And you dismissed a legitimate concern about bias as crying discrimination. You realize every one of these kids is going to show this video to their friends, right? He glanced at the phones again, guilt and fear battling on his face. I didn't think. Exactly. You didn't think. She turned to Marco and Leia, her expression softening. Doctor, Miss Dela Cruz, I am so sorry, she said. You didn't deserve any of this. Thank you for keeping your cool when we clearly didn't. Leia let out a breath that sounded half laugh, half sob. You're the first person to say that, she said. I thought I was going to throw up. Marco nodded, throat tight.
"Thank you for stepping in," he said. Rex definitely helped. As if on cue, the shepherd whined and Army crawled a few inches closer, looking up at Marco with hopeful eyes. Carter shook her head but smiled. "Go on," she said. "Say hi, and then we're getting out of the road before somebody rear-ends a squad car trying to film this." Marco crouched carefully, letting Rex press his head into his chest. He rubbed the dog's shoulders, fingers pushing into familiar fur. "You remember me, huh? Good boy. You saved us today, did you know that?" Rex licked his chin once, then huffed as if he understood. When Marco stood, Carter met his gaze. "If you're willing," she said quietly, "I'd like you to come talk to our canine unit at the next training day. About this. About what it feels like on your side. Some of these guys need to hear it from someone who's been where they are and where you are now." Marco glanced at Henderson, who was staring at the ground, jaw clenched. He thought of the younger officers watching, the kids with phones, the neighbors who'd seen everything. "I'll come, but I'm not going to be gentle just because they're cops." Carter nodded once. "Good," she said. "They don't need gentle. They need honest." The patrol cars eventually rolled away, lights off now. The crowd thinned, people drifting back to their Saturdays. Mrs. Jensen shuffled over with a bottle of cold water from her fridge and thrust it into Marco's hands. "I always knew you were a good boy," she said fiercely. "Don't let them make you feel small." Marco smiled, something loosening in his chest. "Thank you, Po," he said automatically, the old Filipino honorific slipping out. Leia nudged him as they started walking home, legs suddenly heavy. "So," she said shakily, "does this mean we're done with cardio for the day?" "Yeah," he said. "We did enough emotionally. Next time I visit, we're just doing yoga," she muttered. Later, as the sun dipped lower and the day cooled, Marco sat on his porch steps, hand unconsciously rubbing the faint bruise forming at his collar. His phone buzzed with a text from Carter. A photo of Rex sprawled on his back in the canine office, paws flopped, tongue lolling, captioned, "He's still sulking because his best friend didn't come back with him." Marco smiled, the knot in his stomach easing. He typed back, "Tell him I'll see him at training. We've got work to do." Out on Mapleview Lane, the street looked like it always did. Trees, sprinklers, kids on bikes. But for the people who'd been there that morning, something had changed. A story had taken root. About a jogger, a dog, and the moment a badge meant less than the bond between a canine and the Filipino man who'd taught him to trust.
Thank you for watching to our Badge and Justice stories. If you want to watch more stories like this, click the videos above. See you again tomorrow.